It's good, people. What is up? What is they went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these pants on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Ooh, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to start. I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Uncle Cliff, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. What he had on looked like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yana Van Zam's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see you. Hit me up in my DMs because I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me make sure I'm ready. All right. Jesus Christ, superstar. What's going on, y'all? Hey, everybody. Hey. What's going on, y'all? What's good? Let me say hey to y'all. I'm sorry I'm late. I had a lot of stuff going on. Work was working today. Hey, Lemon Kush. First one there, Diamond Pearl Gym. You let somebody beat you up in here again. Yeah. What's good, Diamond Pearl Gym? Hey, Tracy C. Our hall monitors are here. Tracy W. Hey. Got the Doublemint twins here. Volvo, what's good, Cookie? I got Tanya, my love. My boo is here. Ravine, hey, Ravine. So I got the gang. They're coming in. They're filing in. Go ahead. Come into class. Sit on down before this good late bell rang. And late bell today, since I was a little late, late bell will be at 5:45. We'll give them 30 more minutes. Late bell will be at 5:45 today. After 5:45, 8,000 word essay. Nothing I can do for you. 8,000. 8,000. Get over it. Hey, Shakira, boo. Listen. After 5:45, you got an 8,000 word essay. Handwritten in cursive. Not even playing. What do y'all want from me? It's been a busy day. I owed y'all a politics. And it's been a busy day in politics, y'all. It has been a very, very busy day in politics. The listen, the people are doing some things today in the politics world. We ain't gonna cover everything. We'll do as much as we can, and then we'll get on out of here. Get on out while the getting is good. Yeah, we'll get out while the getting is good. Anyway, we'll cover these things only as we can here. But how are y'all doing today? I missed y'all yesterday. I was real busy yesterday. Real busy. Um, real busy. Um, yeah. So my first story, I got two stories I want to start. Listen, I'm just telling y'all now. Um, it's just a bunch of shit going on in politics. Hey, Janae Boo, you are on time, Janae. I was a little bit late today. Um, Let me get him out the way since you brought him up, Janae. Let me get him out the way. Mitch McConnell, our resident Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, he is in the news. He is in the news because yesterday, hey Yvette, hey Boo, yesterday he had a medical situation and he was sitting there at the podium talking like he always talk because he talks like that. So you never can really, differentiate between whether it's a true medical emergency or medical episode by him or if it's just his regular garbling and gargling that he calls talking. I never can tell. I don't know if he's gargling or if he's talking. That's just how he talks. I guess that's how Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles talk. But when I was watching Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and who am I missing? Michelangelo. Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo. I said them all. Okay, okay, and y'all wasn't even gonna help me. Y'all got me over here counting. Did I count all the Ninja Turtles? I counted them all. I got them all. But listen, he did malfunction. Listen, somebody forgot to reload, put a new battery in him. I told y'all what it is. What happened was somebody listen. The Death Angel had a hard weekend and he's still recuperating because you had Governor Death Sentence, Ron DeSantis, that was involved in a car accident earlier this week. I think that was Monday or Tuesday. And I got real happy about it. And then they were like, oh, nothing happened to him. He's perfectly fine. There were no injuries. They have nothing at all. Like, damn it. Then you got Mitch McConnell damn near having a stroke or I don't know, going into cardiac arrest, having some type of medical episode right in front of our faces, and the death angel just let his hand off of him. We across the fruited plains were collectively saying, get this motherfucker out of here. Let him check the hell on out. Y'all taking all of these other people. Y'all took Sinead O'Connor yesterday. Y'all took Tony Bennett a couple of days ago. Tina just died, a few months ago now, like a month and a half ago now. You in the business of taking the people, Death Angel. Go ahead. Give the people what they want. Got to give the people, got to give them what they want. Got to give the people what they want. What we want is we want that young man laying in and laying in state at the Capitol building. Go ahead. We will go. We will cry. I don't know if I'm going to cry, but baby, listen, we will go and we will, the white people will weep and mourn and all of that good stuff. Hey, Montrez, boo. I'm not crying for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I'm just telling you what I know. But the Death Angel had these people in his grips, and he let them go. Or in the immortal words of Denny Green, he let them off the hook. The Bears are who we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were. I love that clip from Denny Green when he said, the Bears are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook. Yeah, they ain't got no thoughts and no prayers, Janae. Please let them know. No thoughts, no prayers. Baby, we have nothing for you, but can we get somebody real up in here now, please? Please. 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 Anyway. So, where am I at? Okay. So, our first story is another grossly, seasoned person, someone who should have been out of Congress at least 15 years ago. Dianne Feinstein, she's been declining for the last 5 years, but I mean, she's in rapid decline now. I thought at some point the last time she was out because she had what's it called? When you get the rashes, she had oh God, why I can't think of the name of it. That the old people get. Damn it. I almost said scabies. Dear God, the woman did not have scabies. She had God damn it, what's the name of the damn disease that the old people get? Where they get the rashes and it's real painful. Shit, you would think I've been drinking it. Thank you, shingles. Thank you. Lord, I couldn't think of shingles. Lord, she had the shingles. And so by her having shingles, I thought she was checking out. Mama, you like 1,001 years old, baby. Listen. And you still got them carting you around, wheeling you on a wheelchair into your position. So now what's being said is during the roll, let me read this for you. I don't know, damn shingles. Damn shingles. Girl. Let me read this for you. Because we got, members of Congress, damn near dying in front of us. You got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle over there having a medical episode. So now that's on the Republican side. Now on the Democratic side, Dianne Feinstein is having medical episodes. Let me read this to you. Senator Dianne Feinstein had what appeared to be a moment of confusion Thursday as she began delivering a speech instead of voting during a Senate Appropriations Committee. During a roll call vote on the Defense Appropriations Bill Thursday morning, Feinstein started to give a speech in support of the measure. Shortly after, a staffer and committee chairwoman, Patty Murray, Democrat of the state of Washington, cut her off, asking her to simply say aye. Now, they don't call this woman's name because now they're calling the roll because they're voting on the measure, and all she's supposed to do is say aye or nay, and they say Senator Feinstein. Well, here are my thoughts on the bill. No, heifer, no. No means no, and yes means no. All you do is say aye. That's all the hell we need you to do. You over there about to go into your whole monologue and soliloquy when you go in and make these barely, intelligible words come out your mouth. She about to go into a whole long tirade, okay? And instead of doing what she was supposed to do, ma'am, sweetheart, dear one, love bug, all we need you to do, thank God for Senator Patty Murray for saying, hey, hey, heifer, just say I. That's all we need you to do. We don't need you to do a goddamn thing else. We don't need you to do a goddamn thing else. Hey, B Shalom. Hey, my love. Late bell ain't ring yet. You all right? Child, listen. Lord, so yesterday you got Republicans basically dragging Mitch McConnell off the goddamn podium because he had to be helped out of the goddamn off the goddamn podium. Today you got Dems telling Dianne Feinstein, "Hey whore, hey heifer, all we need you to do is say I. We ain't ask you for your monologue. We ain't ask you for your Easter speech. We ain't ask you for your Christmas speech that you practiced with your mama because you done had a relapse in memory and Alzheimer's moment where you thinking you giving an Easter speech on Easter Sunday. Today is Easter Day. On the third day, he has risen, and the angel rolled the stone away. And when Mary and Martha came, the angel said, "He's not here, for he has risen from the dead." Thank you. We ain't ask you for your Easter speech, ma'am. This is not that time. Baby, we did not ask you for your monologue, for your soliloquies. All we need you to do is say I. I mean, just imagine. They're in the middle of voting. Everybody know the assignment. Everybody know what the hell going on. All right. Senator Klobuchar. I. Senator Senator Booker. I. Senator Warnock. I. They just calling off the roll. Everybody's doing their job. Senator Feinstein. Thank you. Today is Easter. And on that third day, on that bright and early Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene and Martha went to clean the tomb, and there was an angel, and the stone rolled away, and the angel was on the top of the stone and said, "For he has risen. He's not here, for he has risen." All praise Jesus. Thank you. That's what we got going on. Mama up here giving a fucking Easter speech, and all we need you to say is I. I know Patty Murray was over there like, girl, you got to be fucking shitting me. Patty Murray was over there. I know she wanted to go off, but she wanted to disrespect this woman. Patty Murray was probably like, girl, we just need you to say I. We ain't asking you for all that. Oh, girl. I want to be a fly on the wall when they walked out of that committee room and somebody had to lay it to her. Girl. Oh, B Shalom, she is over here giving Easter speeches where she's supposed to be. I'm not doing this with y'all. Y'all picking at that woman. This is called age. What is it called? Ageism. Y'all picking at that woman. Because she is, what, 89 years old? How old is Dianne Feinstein? Let me look this up. I believe she's 89. I'm almost certain she's 89. Wait, she is 90 years old. She just turned 90 in June. The woman is 90. Okay. Why are we giving Easter speeches? I'm telling you. Ooh, Mama had a bout with dementia. Mama had a memory lapse. It had to have been transported way back to 1938. Okay, and she was giving that good Easter speech, baby, in front of the church. Honey. She wasn't fucking off. I bet you she was real. I gotta find a clip of this. Hold on, but I don't think. No, I don't want to see a clip because the clip is gonna pale in comparison to probably what really happened. Okay, Mama was up there. He's not here, for he has risen. All praise Jesus. Y'all know that Easter speech that you get. I'm not doing this with y'all. Y'all know that Easter speech that y'all gave when y'all was 5 years old. Your mama, your aunt, your grandma had to practice that with you like 1,000 times. You went up there on stage and did everything not to pee in your goddamn clothes. You were so goddamn nervous. That's what happened to her. She was transported back to 1938, 39. I'm telling you what I know. Diamond Pearl Jim says she went to high school with Moses. Listen. Mama was back there fighting with Susan B. Anthony and the girls, okay? She was back there with the Grimkey sisters and stuff like that back in the 1800s, honey. Baby, listen, she dated Frederick Douglass. That was one of the first interracial dates back in the day. Baby, her and Frederick Douglass had a good old time. I'm trying to tell you what I know, honey. Trying to tell you what I know. Child, now it's giving natural causes. Y'all are horrible. Y'all are horrible. And which that's why I love y'all. Anyway, okay, y'all want to hear what she said? All right. Here's what she said. Oh, that's not what she said. This is what somebody else. This is what her spokesperson said. I don't want to hear what the spokesperson said. Here's what Dianne Feinstein said. I would like to support a yes vote on this. It provides $823 billion. That's an increase of $26 billion for the Department of Defense, and it funds priorities submitted. She was cut off. Just vote aye. He rose from the dead on the third day. Right, Yvette? That don't sound as good as the Easter speech we know she was practicing in her head, honey. On the third day, he rose from the dead. And when Mary and Martha went to the grave, the stone was rolled away, and there was an angel sitting on top. And the angel said, he's not here, for he has risen. Oh my God. Maya said, who are you dating? Frederick Douglass? Oh, girlfriend. Okay. Girl, I'm not doing this with you. Oh God. They eventually got her to say I. Y'all, I'm over here crying, laughing with y'all. Like only we can in here. We got to laugh about these things before we get to these doggone sugar spike moments. Okay. Girl. We got whole sugar spike moments to do. And y'all got me over here dying laughing at Dianne Feinstein and her Easter speech over there. I want y'all to put in the chat all of the lines of her Easter speech. I want each one of y'all to put a line or two or a stanza from her Easter poem or her Easter speech in the chat, okay? Only we gonna know why we doing this. From here on out, because I got more stories to do. But from here on out, when we put these lines or stanzas from her Easter speech in the chat, we gonna know what we talk about, okay? We gonna know what we talk about. Girl, boom. I can't do this with y'all. And with that, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender-conforming members of our audience. It's time for your sugar spike moment.
You see, this is the part that I like. Major sugar spike.
So love the world. I want to fight. That he gave. His only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus! I wish somebody help me.
Shout out to Larry Myers. May he rest in peace. So, God of mercy, I'm still over here dying at this woman at her Easter speech. Y'all are stupid. So Representative Cori Bush had time today. She had time today. Okay. Mama said, I got time today. Okay. Let me read this for you all. Representative Cori Bush, Democrat of the great state of Missouri, yelled at House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Republican of Louisiana, on the House floor on Thursday, calling Republicans' funding bills racist after GOP lawmakers passed the first of 12 annual appropriations bills. Quote, your bills are racist, end quote, Bush yelled out as Scalise touted the passage of the legislation allocating funding for military construction, the Department of Veteran Affairs, and related agencies. The comment was met with outcries from Republican lawmakers in the chamber and calls to strike Bush's words from the official record. However, the Missouri Democrat remained unapologetic about the outburst, tweeting, quote, I said what I said, end quote, with a shrugging emoji shortly after the incident. The Milcom VA bill passed in a 219 to 211 vote Thursday, with every Democrat and two Republicans, Republicans Tim Burchett of Tennessee and Kim Buck of Colorado voting against the measure. The House legislation is virtually dead on arrival at the democratically controlled Senate, where appropriators are marking up their own spending bills. With Congress set to adjourn this week, for its month-long August recess, lawmakers are facing a tight deadline to pass legislation funding the government by September 30th and avert a government shutdown. Here's what we got going on. Okay. They're passing or trying to pass an $800+ billion defense appropriations bill, giving more billions of dollars to the defense budget and defense appropriations, but gutting funding to all types of services like SNAP, services that help with Section 8 and HUD, services that go and provide help for real American citizens actually living here in this country. But no, we don't want to do that. We want to fund more military, add more to the military construct here in this country by passing a military appropriations bill that sends hundreds of billions of dollars, damn near $1 trillion, to the military budget. Also, they can go over there and play around in other people's countries, because we ain't got no goddamn wars going on over here. So we doing all of this money just to, fatten the coffers, just to make it look like, yeah, we have bigger toys than y'all. We ain't got no goddamn war going on. We just want to be able to say, oh, we have bigger military toys than y'all got. Oh, we want to be able to say, oh, we can go and butt into military conflicts in countries where it ain't our business. We want to send more military weaponry to Ukraine and all kinds of stuff that they not building, but business, but stuff even worse, like what's going on in Israel and Palestine. We don't want no parts of that. But we don't mind giving Israel all of our military stuff so that they can go and kill and murder and slaughter people. That's what we're paying money for. But we don't have no problem with the people in our own country dying, starving to death, living on the streets, and all that kind of good stuff. They've already proven if you took half of the military spending and used it on the government, you might be able to end what we know as homelessness in these yet to be United States in America. You might be able to feed people all over this country. But they don't want any parts of that. Nope. No parts of that. So Cori Bush said, bitch, I got time today. Oh, he over there. Oh, and the bill passes. Bitch, you racist. Your bills are racist. Oh, strike her from the record. Oh, you won't strike my tweet. I said what I said, bitch. That's all she needed to add to the end. Is a good bitch. She should. That's all I needed for her to do. I know she ain't gonna do it because she's a sitting member of Congress and she's not like some of the buffoons on the other side. She's a beautiful black woman and she has decorum about her. But if it were me, I probably would have ended it with bitch. I said what I said, bitch. In other news coming out of Congress, the CBC says that black Americans are under attack. Really, CBC? Now you want to come out and say this? Really? Let me read this to you. Black Americans are under attack, members of the Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC said Thursday, arguing that a slew of efforts from Republicans across the country are an assault on their rights. Quote, black people are under attack in America, but we are not victims and we are not powerless. End quote. CBC chairman and representative Stephen Horsford, Democrat of Nevada, said at a Thursday press event from the Capitol. Quote, our fundamental rights are under assault and our very history is being denied, but we will not stand by quietly as it happens. We will never give up when so many people are counting on us to fight for them, end quote. In the last month, the GOP-led state legislature of Alabama defied a Supreme Court order to create a second majority black district, as did the legislature in Louisiana. In Florida, new education guidelines have been approved by the State Board of Education that require students to be told the benefits people earned because of skills learned as slaves. Representative Maxwell Frost, Democrat of Florida, the youngest elected member of the House, blasted his home state for the guidelines. Quote, we have a far-right governor and legislature that literally wants to erase us. The goal is to condition this generation to white supremacy because they see this generation is pushing against this far right-wing fascist ideology, end quote. He went on to say, we want freedoms. We want our people to be safe. And so seeing that an existential threat to the Republican Party, they aim to change the way a generation thinks by changing what they teach them. But little do they know, not only will it not work, it'll piss us off and move young people to go and organize, end quote. And that was Representative Maxwell Frost of the great state of Florida. Beyond beyond the steps taken by various state governments, black members of Congress have also been outraged in recent weeks by statements from GOP colleagues at the Capitol. Representative Eli Crane, Republican of Arizona, referred to black people as, quote, colored people, end quote, on the House floor during a recent debate, just days after Senator Tommy Tuberville, Republican of Alabama, defended his statement that white nationalists are not racist. Horsford, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Stephen Horsford went on to state that he doesn't expect much from Republican leaders at this point, but Representative Troy Carter, Democrat of Louisiana, said it is time for the party's leaders to take a stand. Quote, when you hear something as egregious and so patently wrong, you would expect Republicans, Democrats, and others to stand up and denounce such lunacy, but their silence is deafening. As members of the Congressional Black Caucus, we will not condone the erasing of history, African Americans and slavery today, Holocaust, and our friends in the Jewish community tomorrow. We will stop. When will it stop? I should say. Representative Carter went on to say, I call out for all people to stand up against this, not just black people, but everyone, because what we expect from Kevin McCarthy and other leaders, particularly those who would attempt to ascend to the highest office in of the land, stand up. Stand against bigotry, stand against racism, stand against hate, and stand against xenophobia. Stand up for what's right, not for what's politically expedient. Members of the CBC met with the Education Secretary, Miguel Cardona, on Wednesday to discuss Black History policies. The caucus also issued formal letters to Cardona and Attorney General Merrick Garland and has met with the White House on the need for a very aggressive legal strategy. And that's the thing. I'm gonna stop it right there. You got all of this stuff happening, and the White House is mum's the word. These bastards are over there silent, not saying a goddamn thing. Now I know we had Vice President Kamala Harris who lambasted Governor death sentence last week, but let's be clear, she lives in the Naval Conservatory. Joseph Robinette Biden lives his stinking ass in the goddamn White House. And he ain't doing a goddamn thing, because I'm going to say it, I'm going to call it. Y'all can say, oh, you're going too far, L. Teddy. You're being hyperbolic. But let's be clear. Joseph Biden is showing us just how racist his ass can be. His silence, like they said, is deafening. Him not doing anything about it or not pressing the education secretary to be speaking from the rooftops about it shows you who and what he is. Need we reflect back 30 years ago to the mid 1990s when he was enacting laws that locked us up? This is the same president. Hey, so Jeff, I didn't even see you come in here. This is the same president with his racist tendencies. I ain't gonna go as far as to call him racist, but I'll let you do that if you want to in the chat. But with his racist tendencies, what are you doing right now with what's been going on at the border? What about that? What about the fact that y'all have pregnant women trying to cross the border, and you got a governor over there that's putting actual razor wire in there and having them actually get lacerated? You have members of the Border Patrol, because they saw people and children make it through the water without getting lacerations. You literally have them picking them up and throwing them back in the fucking water so that they can get lacerations from the goddamn naval wire. This is going on in this country right now. And what are they doing? Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. Matter of fact, they're trying to enact even stricter and more egregious laws down there to the goddamn border. But y'all don't want me to call the president racist. Oh no, because he's a Democrat. And oh no, he can't be racist. He can't have racist tendencies because he's a goddamn Democrat. You got bastards on the Senate floor that have reverted to calling you people colored. That they've reverted back to saying, oh yeah, the colored people. In open debate, but they want to strike Representative Cori Bush's remarks by saying that they're passing racist laws. They want that stricken from the record, but they didn't strike from the record the fact that this bastard in open debate said, oh yeah, the colored people. They're not striking that from the record. This is what we got going on. This is the bullshit that we got going on. I'm just saying. I'm just calling it like I sees it. I'm just calling it. Y'all can say you be going too far, L. Teddy. You be real hyperbolic. You can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it, but this shit is happening in these yet to be United States of America. And you sitting idly by in the White House and not saying anything. Where to go next? So many things. So many things. There was a story that I wanted to do. Oh, let's go here. Let's go here. Because I told y'all we are careening down a path leading back to 19th century laws with 21st century technologies. Let me read this for you all. Or let me read I'm just going to read the headline, then we'll get into it. But I'm going to let you digest the headlines. Hey, y'all, while y'all are over here going back and forth between what nomenclature you want to use, women, real women, biological women, cis women, trans women, while y'all over here debating and going back and forth, fighting with people, cussing people out, and all this, that about who's right, who's wrong, who should have and shouldn't have said what. Here's what's happening. Here's the headline. Tennessee Attorney General obtains confidential medical records of trans patients. I'm going to just let that sit right there. Let me read it again. Tennessee Attorney General obtains confidential medical records of trans patients. But y'all got all this arguing to do, right? Let me continue. In response to, should I add that the patients were not told that their information had been given to somebody else until after it had happened? Oh, yes. Let me read further because it gets better. That's just the headline. Oh, it gets better. In response to Republican faux outrage that started last September about the treatment of transgender Tennesseans, Vanderbilt University Medical Center handed over confidential records of patients receiving gender-affirming care to the state's Attorney General, Jonathan Skrmetti. His office had requested the private treatment information, according to a new report in the Nashville Banner. There was no notification to patients that their unredacted medical records had been shared, let alone with an agency of a government notoriously hostile to transgender people. A list of 106 transgender patients treated by doctors at Vanderbilt University Medical Center was received from Skrmetti's office when the hospital learned that it was under investigation, the Nashville Banner reports. Skrmetti aimed to access all transgender patient records, the outlet reports. When the Vanderbilt University Medical Center provided the documents to the state, a class action lawsuit was filed on Monday by two of those patients. According to the lawsuit, the hospital provided medical information to the Attorney General, violating the Federal Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, better known as HIPAA, and the medical center's privacy policies, despite knowing the state targeted transgender people. Identified only as patients 1 and 2, the plaintiffs are not named. Quote, the attachment contained 106 entries of individual patients without explanation as to the source of the names on the list. The list included individuals who are 1, on the state employees health plan and their family members, and 2, people who received their health care through TennCare. Some of the Vanderbilt University Medical Center patients whose records were disclosed were not even patients of the Vanderbilt University Medical Center Transgender Health Clinic, end quote. And that's according to the suit. Records were released legally and according to Skrmetti's civil investigation demands the hospital maintains. As HIPAA defines, medical providers may only disclose protected health information if, quote, de-identified information cannot be reasonably used. According to the lawsuit, Vanderbilt revealed some of the most sensitive personal information, including images of genitals, information about gender identities, that others were unaware of, confidential communications with treatment teams, and intimate knowledge about partners and sexual background. Let me read this again because this is what's going on while these people are over here arguing with idiots, arguing back and forward. This stuff is happening in real time. And I pulled this article yesterday. Let me read this again. According to the lawsuit, Vanderbilt revealed some of the most sensitive personal information possible, including images of genitals, information about gender identities that others were unaware of, confidential communications with treatment teams, and intimate knowledge about partners and sexual background. This is going on in these yet to be United States while they're over there fighting and screaming and cussing and calling people all types of names while people are arguing about, oh, I don't like this pronoun. Oh, I don't like this nomenclature. Oh, I don't like this title. Real people are really being affected right now. And if you think it's going to stop with the trans community, please be clear. It ain't. Because if they can pull the records of who's had gender assignment surgeries, you think they aren't going to pull the records of who's had abortion or who's been prescribed abortion pills so that they can't find a way to legislate them or to prosecute them or to criminalize them? Let me continue. The complaint continues, quote, nevertheless, it appears that instead of pushing back, Vanderbilt University Medical Center simply complied with the Attorney General's demands and turned over all requested records. Those records included the personally identifying information of its patients and some of the most intimate details of their private lives. Vanderbilt University Medical Center did not inform its affected patients that it had done this. End quote. And that's all language from the lawsuit. Per the complaint, the list includes state employees, their kids, and their partners. But nobody gonna be over here watching the video of me talking about the fact that this is happening. But you're gonna have millions of people, thousands, millions of people ready. Every blog, every blogger, everybody who does pop culture, they're gonna give you all of the breakdown of how this person, Blessing Rose, and Just Hilarious, and T.S. Madison, and Angelica Rose, and Flame Monroe, they're gonna have all of these breakdowns. They're gonna break down every word, syllable, letter, and character of everything they said. And ain't nobody talking about the fact that this is going on in these yet to be United States of America. Say it again for the people in the back, so Jeff. Let me continue. Across the country, Republicans are targeting transgender people with 26 bills aimed at LGBTQ Tennesseans during this year's session. Let me say that again. With 26 bills aimed at LGBTQ Tennesseans during this year's session, the supermajority in Tennessee's legislature made no exception. Human Rights Campaign data shows Tennessee has passed more anti-LGBTQ bills than any other state since 2015. A mess. A mess. But we over here arguing. We over here dog walking each other, dish ragging each other, people fighting, and all of this other stuff. And while y'all are over here fighting, distracted, calling people's genitalia sores, talking about people's mamas, people's children, people's husbands, people's everything. This is happening. This is happening. They say, damn your HIPAA laws. See, people like to say, oh no, that violates HIPAA laws. The Attorney General of a state, the Attorney General of the state of Tennessee said, fuck you and your HIPAA laws. We getting it all. It's already out there now. Even if you say, oh, we got a lawsuit against him and so forth, you think he's the only one that has access to it? You think this information ain't gonna get out there? You think somewhere on the dark web isn't floating around pictures and images of people's genitalia? You think ain't floating out there? You may have a trans man or a trans woman that nobody that works with them even knows is a trans man or trans woman. But now the Attorney General has solicited this information and has it. And it was given up that easily. You think they're not going to go and try to retroactively prosecute or do something against these people? They got a super majority down there to the legislature. They got a super majority down there to the goddamn Supreme Court of Tennessee. And I don't care if you tell me, oh, well, they can appeal all the way to the United States Supreme Court. I just read to you, you have states right now, Alabama and Louisiana, that said, fuck you and your Supreme Court. We don't give a shit what the Supreme Court wants us to do. We ain't doing this shit. We still gonna do what we want to do and still be racist. This is happening, people. This is not a drill. This is real. This is the blueprint. And while people see what you're gonna have is, oh, because see the people there, you got the trans women and you got women, whatever they want to be called, that were born and identify as women. I don't know what they want to be called. I can't even figure it out now. I don't know if they want to be called real women, biological women, cis women, women who were born as women. I'm just gonna say XX chromosomes, okay? XX chromosomes. But you got these people fighting, and you think, oh, that's the trans women's problem, that their HIPAA laws got violated. You think they are setting, like So Jeff said, you think this ain't the blueprint for them coming at women's rights? They've already said Roe is illegal. We have almost half the states in this country where it's illegal right now to get abortions right now, or even get medications to do medical abortions. You think they're not going to go and start to pull the medical records? And people going to come hard at Vanderbilt saying, oh, why did you do that? Isn't Vanderbilt a state university who gets money from this super right legislature? I keep trying to tell y'all, this stuff is happening. This stuff is happening. The major news outlets ain't gonna tell you about this, Diamond Pearl Jim. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. That's one of those minorities. That doesn't affect enough people. We don't care. We'll just let that, fall by the wayside. All the while, they're just setting up the blueprint. They're just getting target practice in, because the next ones they're gunning for is a larger minority group or something much more egregious. This stuff is happening. This stuff is happening. So while they're out here arguing, while all of this stuff is going on, and while, people high-fiving people, oh yeah, you reared her down, oh, you dog walked her, oh, you drug her, oh, girl, that was a good clapback, Oh, that was a good tweet. You did that, sis. Oh, you ain't gonna let that happen. You ain't gonna let that get by. You got to get the get back. While y'all, because you know how your grandparents used to say, when you argue with a fool, nobody knows which one is the fool and which one is not. Because that's what we got going on in these stupid debates. While that's going on, they're practicing, sharpening their skills. Oh, y'all let us get by with violating HIPAA against that small group of people? All right. And these are state employees. Oh, yeah, did I forget to tell you? These are state employees. Not only did the state employees' HIPAA laws get violated, their children as well. So we ain't even just talking about the state employees themselves. It said their children and their partners. So the spouses or partners of those state employees is in addition to their children. Y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up because this stuff is happening. I told y'all this was a sugar spike. This is the whole sugar spiky this is our sugar spike segment. I can't I can't sugarcoat it. It is what it is. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, this is interesting. In other news of attorneys general doing things that they should not do, let me read this headline to you. Missouri Attorney General asks court to overturn the conviction of the white cop who shot and killed Cameron Lamb. Let me read this because y'all may not remember the story of Cameron Lamb. Let me read this to you so you can be reminded of what we got going on here. Missouri Attorney General asks court to overturn conviction of white cop who shot Cameron Lamb. Eric the Valconair was convicted in November of 2021 for killing Lamb, who was shot as he backed his truck into his garage. This is out of Kansas City, Missouri. In an unusual move, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is asking a state appeals court to reverse the conviction of a white former Kansas City police detective who shot and killed a black man 3 years ago. In a brief filed Monday, Bailey said the evidence presented at a trial in 2021 did not support Eric DeValconair's conviction for second-degree involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action in the death of 26-year-old Cameron Lamb on December 3rd, 2019. Bailey asked the court to reverse DeValconair's conviction or order a new trial. Jackson County prosecutor Gene Peters Baker, whose office secured DeValconair's conviction, said the motion by the Attorney General, the state's top law enforcement officer, to challenge a conviction was unprecedented and an affront to the people of Kansas City. In a news conference on Monday, she accused Bailey of a Republican who was appointed to the Attorney General's office in January of, quote, attempting to expand his power to that of a judge, end quote. She went on to say, I can't say in my time, 25 plus years of being here, that I've seen anything like this before, end quote. Cameron Lamb's father, Akil Bay, said at the news conference that Bailey's actions were a miscarriage of justice. He said DeValconair had been given every legal advantage, including not having to serve a day in jail since his conviction. Let me read that again. Let me read that again. Cameron Lamb's father, Akil Bay, said at the news conference that Bailey's actions were a miscarriage of justice. He said DeVal Kinnear had been given every legal advantage. Here's the part I need you to pay attention to, including not having to serve a day in jail since his conviction. He was convicted in 2021. And normally, if our black asses get convicted of something, even if we plan to appeal, guess where we're going upon conviction? In the Chanel Bangles and carting our ass in the jail. And if you and your attorneys want to appeal, y'all have that right. But you're going to be in jail while you're doing this good appeal. This man has not served a day in jail, and he was convicted of second-degree manslaughter for shooting a black man while he was backing into his own garage, and he has not served a day in jail. And this attorney general had the gall to say, oh yeah, I need this conviction to be overturned or get a new trial. This is what the hell we got going on. But we got time to worry about a whole bunch of other nonsense. Hey, Quintessential, what's going on, boo? Ben Trachtenberg, a University of Missouri School of Law professor and expert in criminal law, agreed that Bailey's decision was unusual, noting the state's attorney general's office has a history of vigorously defending convictions, even in cases where the local prosecutor is trying to overturn a conviction. Bailey's predecessor, Eric Schmidt, who is now a Republican U.S. senator, strongly opposed efforts by Baker and former St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner to release two men, Lamar Johnson and Kevin Strickland, who they believe were jailed for murders they didn't commit. Both men were eventually released from prison. It goes on and on and on. I don't need to read no more. Y'all see what the hell is going on, because I'm spiking out. I'm spiking out. Hold on, I'm spiking the hell out. Give me a moment. Dear God, God of mercy, God of love. Hold on. Give me a break. Please, God. Where's that Larry? Sing me through, please. I need a break. Hold on.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long, well, I want to fight. Daddy gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus!
I wish somebody help me.
Jesus. Sorry. I needed that. Needed that break. I do want to continue because many people don't know the story, or don't remember the story of what happened. So I do want to go through that part, because a lot of this stuff goes unsaid. Let me remind you of what happened to Cameron Lamb. We say his name. DeVal Kinnear was convicted in November 2021 of killing Cameron Lamb, who was shot as he backed his truck into his garage. Police said DeVal Kinnear and his partner Troy Schwalm went to Lamb's home after reports that Lamb was involved in a car crash with his girlfriend on residential streets. Jackson County Circuit Court presiding judge J. Dale Youngs, who convicted the former detective after a bench trial, sentenced DeVal Kinnear to 3 years for involuntary manslaughter and 6 years for armed criminal action, with the sentences to run consecutively. But Youngs later ruled that DeVal Kinnear could remain free while the conviction is appealed. So the judge then said that he could remain free while the judgment is appealed. You made a judgment. You gave him a convict. I mean, he was convicted. You determined what his sentence should be, but then you, in the next breath, say, "Oh, but we'll just let you stay, free while you appeal." Where in everything that is holy, the fuck do they do that at? Because if that's the precedent that we're setting, can we do that for all our black asses? That's what I want to know. The next time I go to court, I want the judge to have the sweeping power to say, "Yeah, I just convicted you and gave you a sentence, but you know what, El Teddy? Don't worry about going to jail. Y'all leave them Chanel bangles where they at. Let his ass stay free while he's appealing." I just want to see how successful I'm gonna be with that shit. In his motion, God help me, Bailey said Lamb's death was tragic and shouldn't have happened, but he argued that the Valconaire used reasonable force because he believed Lamb was going to shoot Schwam. The motion, which includes several pages reiterating the police department's version of events, said officers believed they saw Lamb with a handgun inside the truck, and a handgun was found near the truck after Lamb was shot. The quote, "The Valconaire's use of force was reasonable in light of Mr. Lamb's use of deadly force against Schwam, and the court erred as a matter of fact and law." Let me read that again. "The Valconaire's use of force was reasonable." This is what the Attorney General is saying in his motion. "The Valconaire's use of force was reasonable in light of Mr. Lamb's use of deadly force against Schwam, and the court erred as a matter of fact and law in determining that Schwam and the Valconaire were the initial aggressors. The Valconaire was not criminally negligent." End quote. Prosecutors and Lamb's family have alleged the handgun was planted after the shooting, but Judge Youngs did not address that issue when he convicted the detective. Instead, the judge said the officers had no probable cause to believe that any crime had been committed, and no warrant for Lamb's arrest, and had no warrant for Lamb's arrest, and had no search warrant or consent to be on the property. He said police were the initial aggressors and they had a duty to retreat, but the Valconaire illegally used deadly force instead. Rumors had swirled in the last month that Republican Governor Mike Parsons was considering pardoning or granting clemency to the Valconaire, prompting Baker, the Attorney General, to send him a letter urging him to do so. Civil rights advocate warned that releasing the former detective could cause unrest in the city and damage an already tense relationship between police and Kansas City's minority community. Well, we got time to be worried about a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm just putting this out there, y'all. I'm just putting this out there. Oh, I feel the need, before I read this next story, I feel the need to appropriately play this.
America presents Real Women of Politics.
Real women of politics.
Today we salute all the real woman leaders of this great country.
Real women don't have to fake it.
Real women doing real things.
Real women work too hard for this.
Some big companies can't tell the difference between real and fake anymore.
Real people know the difference.
That's why we're introducing the Real Women of Politics koozie.
Real women of politics.
Now, you can salute the real women of politics at every backyard barbecue and tailgate. And if it covers up the label of a big woke company, well, that works too.
Real women of politics.
Order your Real Women of Politics koozie today.
Now, if you recall, those koozies were made in response to Bud Light working or partnering with Dylan Mulvaney, who is a transgender influencer. And so they came up with those koozies so you can still drink your Bud Light, but cover it up with the real women of politics. That was the Republican response to that, right? Let me read this headline. Anheuser-Busch lays off hundreds amid Bud Light controversy, drops in sales. Let me read this for you. Anheuser-Busch announced Wednesday it will be laying off almost 2% of its U.S. workforce, a decision that follows the recent fallout over the company's controversial partnership with a transgender influencer and a drop in sales. A spokesperson for Anheuser-Busch confirmed the company, which makes Bud Light, is changing its corporate structure to, quote, simplify and reduce layers, end quote, within the organization. This will include eliminating positions across every corporate function at Anheuser-Busch. The spokesperson told The Hill the elimination will affect less than 2% of its U.S. population. Of its U.S. workforce. The company employs 18,000 workers in the United States, meaning a 2% cut would eliminate around 360 jobs, the spokesperson said. While we never take these decisions lightly, we want to ensure that our organization continues to be set for future long-term success, Anheuser-Busch CEO Brendan Whitworth said in a statement, noting the decision was very difficult but necessary. Bud Light sales have declined since the company partnered with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney on an Instagram advertisement featuring her posing with a personalized Bud Light can. The partnership prompted backlash and calls for boycotts from conservatives, while Mulvaney's supporters and LGBTQ plus advocates argued Anheuser-Busch did not do enough to defend the partnership. Mulvaney posted a video in June saying she faced, quote, more bullying and transphobia than I could ever have imagined, end quote, and claimed Bud Light never reached out to her. Bud Light recently fell from its spot as the top-selling beer for the first time in more than 2 decades after it was outpaced by Mexican beer Modelo Especial. Grupo Modelo is also owned by Anheuser-Busch. In the month ending July 15th, Bud Light sales were down 26.5%. Let me say that again. In the month ending July 15th, Bud Light sales were down 26.5%, and Modelo's were up 13.5%. Modelo held a 8.7% share of the U.S. beer market in that period, compared to Bud Light's share of 6.8%, according to reporting from the Associated Press. The spokesperson noted the layoffs will not include Anheuser-Busch's frontline employees, including the brewery and warehouse staff, drivers, and field sales. It goes on and on. Let me also read this part. Last week, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis asked the head of Florida's State Board of Administration to start a review into its holdings with Anheuser-Busch parent company, AB InBev, and expressed concern about AB InBev, concerns that AB InBev, quote, may have breached legal duties owed to its shareholders, end quote, by associating the brand with, quote, radical social ideologies, end quote. In his letter, DeSantis, who had spoken out against woke culture in his presidential campaign, pointed to Bud Light's drop in sales, arguing it, quote, will continue to financially harm the Florida State Board of Administration and other shareholders. I'm just reading this. These people are serious. These people are serious. Real serious. When the people say, oh, y'all got transgender people over there, we don't want no parts of y'all, they mean that. They absolutely the fuck mean that. Now, consequently, you have, there's big uh, coverage of one of the BGLOs, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, pulling out of their national convention in Tampa, Florida for 2025. And many people ask my fraternity, why didn't they do that? The fact of the matter is, ours was this year. And if you pull out of an event of that magnitude where we had like 8 or 9 hotels under contract, over 20,000 people in the city, you're talking millions of dollars in breach of contract that would have to be paid that we just couldn't afford to pay, or no organization is going to be able to afford to pay tens of millions of dollars in breach of contracts. So they had to go along with it. Consequently, I believe the Sigmas are supposed to be in Tampa in 2 years. I believe the AKAs are going to Tampa next year. And I think the Qs are going either Tampa or Orlando. So at some point, I think 8 of the 9 Divine 9 were going to be in either Tampa or Orlando in the next 2 years, between 23 and 25. So this is a situation where, oh, kudos to the Alpha. They just had time because theirs was the furthest out in terms of being able to cancel their contract. But it's a double edged. I was talking to someone earlier today about it being a double-edged sword when things like this happen. It looks good. It is good. I'm saying I'm not saying it's not a good idea to boycott Florida. But let's be clear. Did I not just read you stories from several other states that are doing things as egregious, and in some cases way more egregious than Florida? Hell, the Sigmas were just in Houston, Texas earlier this month, over there with Governor Hot Wheels. I didn't see nobody begging them to boycott Texas. And we know Texas and Governor Hot Wheels gave the blueprint to Ron death sentence. They gave the blueprint to death sentence to do what the hell they're doing. We got Tennessee up here losing their goddamn minds. You got Arkansas over there with Governor Quasimodo. Their shit is going way under the cloak of darkness. Now I'm going to do a whole expose on the shit that Quasimodo is doing over there in Arkansas, because she's just way out of control. You got Missouri, we just talked about. You got Alabama and Louisiana that basically said fuck you to the Supreme Court. And as racist and egregious as the Supreme Court, even the Supreme Court said that their voting maps were racist and bigoted, and they told them that they had to change it. And Louisiana and Alabama said, fuck you, we ain't changing shit. And I don't hear about a whole lot of boycotts to those places. I done named about 8 states off the top of my head that should be boycotted as well, because they're doing things just as egregious. The only difference is the governor of Florida is running for president. So he wants the pulpit. He wants to be on television. And mainstream media is going to put him on television because they saw him as at one point the front runner to try to beat Donald Trump, and now that's going up in flames. And now since they're committed to showing him, because now they want to see the fucking car crash. Now they want to see the carnage that happens to Governor Death Sentence as he goes down burning in flames. So they're going to put everything he has up there. So it becomes a double-edged sword because not only just that, but you have real people that live in that state. That if you just say, okay, we just gonna pull out and boycott that state, there are still people that live there. A lot of black people live in the state of Florida. And not only that, the other thing, hey Yana, thank you so much for that membership, Yana. The other thing that you have to think about is the fact that black people live in metropolitan centers. These organizations that have their national conventions only have them in large metropolitan areas because they have the infrastructure to support that. But when you start to say, okay, we're not going to go to those places and cities no more, now you are affecting the economy of those places, and which overwhelmingly means that there's going to be a lot of black and brown people that are affected by the economic impact. There are going to be layoffs. The economy is going to start to be, stripped away of excess funds. And now people are going to start to feel the pressure. And Ron DeSantis and all of these governors and legislatures are going to still be making their money. They're still going to have all of their things in place. And the people, black people within that area are going to suffer. Now, we as black people are going to have to decide. Because in order to get change, there has to be struggle. There has to be some sacrifice. There has to be okay, we got to take this one. We got to take these 4 steps backwards so we can take 10 steps forward. My grandfather used to say, if you tread in water, the only way to stay above water sometimes is to go underneath the water. So we got to make a decision on what we need to do. But the point that I'm making is if we do make the decision with the NAACP or the CBC or whoever it is saying boycott Florida, be equitable about it. Don't just say just boycott Florida. There should be a whole list of states that should be said, oh, make sure you boycott these states as well, because they're doing things just as bad as Florida and in many cases worse than Florida. That's the only problem that I have with that. Oh, you want to talk about states doing things badly? Oh, okay. Well, you thought it was just the red states? You thought it was just Florida? Oh, no. No. Let me read this to you. This is probably going to be my last story. Well, I got 2 more stories. But then 3 more. Hopefully. I got to get out of here. Really be probably getting ready to go live real soon. Let me read this headline for you. In California, hate crimes against black people rose. In California, hate crimes against black people rose in the year 2022. So it ain't just Florida. Let me read this to you. And this comes out of Los Angeles. Reported hate crimes increased in California in 2022, including instances of violence motivated by bias, according to state data released Tuesday. Hate crimes involving racism against black people, as well as homophobia and anti-Semitism, all rose last year compared with 2021 data. Overall hate crime events, which officials say are likely underreported, increased 20.2% in 2022. It increased over 20% last year, from 1,763 in 2021 to 2,120 last year. Crimes targeting black people in California remained the most widespread and rose 27.1% from 513 in 2021 to 652 in 2022. in the aftermath of the country's racial reckoning following George Floyd's murder in Minneapolis by Minneapolis police officers in 2020. But anti-Asian bias events decreased. Let me say that again. Anti-Asian bias events decreased by 43.3% in 2022, from 247 in 2021 to 140 in 2022, after major increases in past years following the emergence of the coronavirus in China. California Attorney General Rob Bonta announced the figures Tuesday during a news conference in Los Angeles. The California Department of Justice has collected and reported statewide data on hate crimes since 1995. Here's what he had to say. This report is a stark reminder that there is still much work to be done to combat hate in our state. An attack against one of us is an attack against all of us. The alarming increase in crimes committed against Black, LGBTQ+, and Jewish people for the second year in a row illustrates the need for our communities to join together, unified against hate. End quote. Y'all see what's going on over here. It ain't just a red state. It's red state, blue state, purple state, whatever state. It's happening all over. I noticed the almost 50% decrease in Asian crimes. You'll want to know why? Remember when they had that shooting in Georgia where the Asian people were shot, and in less than a month, they had passed through both chambers of Congress laws enacted against anti-Asian crime? Remember that? Remember that? When was that? 2021 or last? I think that happened in 2021. It was either 2021 or 2022. I think it was 2021. When they had that when the man went in there, when that white man went in there and shot up all of those Asian people, and then in less than a month, they had an anti-Asian hate crime bill that sped through the House as well as the Senate, damn near unopposed. Everybody thought it was a great idea, but at the same time, where's the George Floyd police reform bill? Y'all don't want no parts of that. We still waiting for Biden to push that shit. We still waiting. We're still waiting. No George Floyd police reform bill, but y'all over here killing us at every turn. We getting killed at every turn. Oh yeah, we'll protect all of the Asians, but the blacks, nah, we ain't protecting y'all. Matter of fact, we're not only not gonna protect y'all, we're changing the history to say we ain't did nothing to y'all. So the record will reflect that we don't owe you anything. We never did anything to you. Nothing happened to you. I don't know what you're complaining about. Because that's what's next is gonna be. What are you complaining about? Nothing happened to you. Did you forget the skills that we gave you? That wasn't slavery. That was us helping you. That was a handout from the government. And you didn't pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps from all of the things that we so graciously taught you during those years. You call it slavery. We call it a government handout. That's what they're going to say. I'm going to stop right there. I was supposed to go in and let have on Really B's boyfriend, Ice Cube, who's taking a ride with Tucker Carlson. That's y'all's boy, Ice Cube. I give him to y'all. Y'all could have him. He over here riding around with Tucker Carlson, playing nice with him. I ain't got the type of time to play around with him. I don't have this type of time to go in on him and break this down. I don't have. Somebody put in the chat, hashtag ABC, because the bitch just came. I ain't got this type of energy. I don't. One thing that I do want to do, and I'll just do this real briefly. Two stories real briefly. In this great state of Michigan, they finally passed a bill and a law that outlaws conversion therapy. The fact that conversion therapy is not outlawed across federally and across the fruited plains is beyond my level of comprehension. But they, in the great state of Michigan, they finally passed a bill outlawing or making it conversion therapy illegal. And in an update to a story that we are continually following, remember the coach Brian Flores and his lawsuit against the NFL, and there was all kinds of things trying to stymie that lawsuit. Well, a judge has ruled that NFL coach Brian Flores' discrimination claims can go to trial. So we can have, they're going to let this go to trial. Brian Flores' suit against Roger Goodell and the NFL and their racist and discriminatory practices over the last few decades. So all of that is happening right now. If you're just joining us and you were not here, I need you to go back and I need you to listen. We had a great time. We had a lot of fun in the beginning, laughing at the Easter speech. I noticed y'all stopped putting our lines and stanzas from that Easter speech, but we talked about an Easter speech that was given in the United States Senate today. We had a whole sugar spike moment where talking about how HIPAA laws are being violated, all the while people are over here arguing about what to call them. And our rights are being violated in front of us by people in positions of power. There's a lot of important stuff that we went over today. Y'all go back, if you just get in, go red ball back, because there's a lot of important things that we did today. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. Listen. Y'all can put some shondos in the chat while I'm getting out of here. You know, when we do politics of it all, we over here doing the Lord's work. We're doing the Lord's work. We like to report on things that the mainstream media will not tell you and give you stories that have gone unheard and unseen because we need to hear them and we need to see them. So, like Tracy W said, y'all be vigilant. Please be vigilant, okay? But yeah, put some shondos in the chat, y'all. Listen. Hey, lovely True Red. I don't even think I saw you slide up in here. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They're much obliged and much appreciated. Listen, y'all. This is what we do. You know, politics of it all is our shit. This is our shit over here. So we are always glad to bring you the politics. If you want to contribute to this platform so we can get more stuff like this and keep the lights on over here, you can the Cash App is right there if you'd like to do that, or donate to the snack fund. God knows I need to go buy me some snacks to. I think I'm gonna go buy. You know what? I'm going to go buy Quintessential. If you're still in the chat, Quintessential, I'm going to go buy me some red velvet. Some of the red velvet cookies, the Keebler cookies, the red velvet ones that I used to get all the time. I'm gonna go buy me some of those. Anyway, I will be here Saturday, so we will have a silly Saturday. Tomorrow I'm supposed to go live with Darren for his podcast. It's his 200th episode of his podcast. So if you could put Darren's Tracy, can you put Darren's link in the chat for me, please? Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you, hall monitors too. Y'all hall monitors, y'all keep me going. I don't think I thank you all publicly enough, hall monitors, but thank you all for all that you do and everything that you do to keep this platform functional, because I sure can't do it by myself. Also, thank you to my members. Y'all know how we do. We'll be in the members only chat clowning in just a bit. Shout out to my members. All my members, can y'all flood the chat with some of the members only emojis so I know you here? But my members know we have the members only chat. And if you are not a member, I encourage you to become a member so that you can join the members only chat and be a part of the party. If y'all think y'all can't reach me, if you become a member, you can join the members only chat and you can always reach me and be a part of the fun. Everything we do here on live and in the chat here, they be 10 times worse in the members only chat. Please be clear. Like you wake up in the morning, And you wake up and see all of this stuff that they done antics that they done had going on all night, you be like, you know what, they is stupid. So shout out to all of my members. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for holding me down as well. Um, thank you, members. Did Tracy put the she probably going to go get Darren's. There's Darren's link right there. So tomorrow, I believe at 8 p.m. I will be going live with Darren for his 200th episode of his podcast, and then he'll do a live simulcast on his channel. So y'all come around there, and I'll put the link in the community wall tomorrow. Share it out on my community wall tomorrow. So y'all come on around there and party it up with us. Let's do what we do. Y'all get in the chat and show love. Anyway, is Really Be going live? Anybody know if Really Be is going live? And if so, what time? Because I'm way over today. I don't know if Really Be is going live. But let me see if Really Be is going live. Anyway, y'all could have been a whole lot of places, but y'all were here with me today, and I appreciate and thank y'all for it. See if Really Be is going live today. Anybody see? It's a whole threads that you have to scroll over. Child. I don't know if Really Be is going live, but if she is, y'all going around there and tell her I sent y'all and stuff like that. I'll be in the bushes comfortably sniping people. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Until next time. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.